now.
Okay. Welcome back to another video or another podcast here at Keystone and More. We got a lot to talk about today, including some MLB, NHL, and NCAA basketball. In the MLB, we got some spring training, a Millan rant, and Bryce Harper making his debut in the red pinstripes. Also in the NHL, Jacob Voracek of the Philadelphia Flyers with a very debatable two-game suspension, and the Penguins and Flyers still in the playoff race. A lot left time to go. Not enough time for the Flyers. Maybe just enough time for the Penguins. And in the NCAA, we got our conference tournaments are just about to start this week. We're going to preview of all the big ones, around 7 or 8 of them, because we got some big conference tournaments. They're going to make some big splashes for March Madness Selection Sunday, March 17th, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 Pacific. So be ready for that. And Sunday night podcast, we're ready.
Yeah, Nick, like you see up on the board, everybody, we have the conference tournaments that's coming up this week actually, and then 1 week from today, Nick and I will be sitting here giving you our predictions, filling out our bracket essentially in front of you guys. And yeah, some MLB stuff that I want to rant about. Nick, I know you want to talk about hockey and rant about hockey, and I got a couple things to say about hockey with the Penguins. But let's jump right into it, Nick. With the MLB, like you said, Harper had his at bat, had his first at bat with the Phillies, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Honestly, Rhys Hoskins just stole the show with that monster, in my opinion, that monster bomb.
Yeah, and I think that what that really showed us was what this Phillies lineup is gonna be about.
Hmm.
The Blue Jays, they didn't want to face Harper. They walked him. Whatever. You walked Harper, so you let Harper hit a bomb. Or you had Hoskins hit a bomb. Okay, you got Hoskins, you got Harper, you got Realmuto in the middle of this lineup. You can't avoid it.
No, you
And
really to cannot hit for his life.
Realmuto's a great hitter.
He's not that good.
He had 20 home runs last
He
year.
was okay. No,
He's pretty good.
no.
He's actually a pretty good power hitter.
Yeah,
He's the best catcher in the league for a reason. You can't be the best catcher in the league just based off defense.
that's what I agree on. But yeah, like you were saying, I think what this shows is that no one's gonna want to face Harper at every single one of his at bats. And if you walk Harper, especially in a situation where you need to score runs, you know that you have people behind him like Rhys Hoskins that can do damage, and that's gonna be threatening to this AL East, especially to the Braves, knowing that this is a team that can do damage.
Yes, definitely agree with that. And now I need to pull up JT Realmuto's stats for you guys.
While
You
yep,
don't know that he is a good
I'm
hitter.
just judging him off of that one at bat I saw where he went down with an ugly swing. But while you pulling that up right now, I've
He had
been
a 287 batting average last year.
mm,
Pretty good.
with the
And
Marlins.
24 home runs. And it was with the Marlins, a terrible team with nobody else there to protect him from walks. So, because he did get walked.
Again, I'm just judging him off of the
You're turning him spring training.
yeah,
Terrible idea.
probably a bad idea.
One of the worst ideas you can make.
Yeah, and so basically, what I also wanted to talk about is I've been hearing a lot of rumors. I've been getting a lot of talks about MLB so calling experimenting with the rules here. One of the rules
Dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
in my life. Yeah, I will agree. One of the things that was really stupid is the batter pitch count with the timer that you have, which is really stupid because apparently it's supposed to speed up games, and it's not the pitches. Because last year, I don't think there was one pitcher that went longer than the clock had intended. And what makes at bats long is those foul balls, and that's not you can't control that. That's just part of the game. So that's one of the things that's really stupid. Another thing that they're trying in the minors, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life.
It's not even the minors. It's like it's like a developmental league. It's not like it's not like the minor league for the major league. It's like some other developmental league out there that's not related with the MILB at all. So
Yeah, yeah. And now they're debating on moving the mound 2 inches back from its regular feet. So it'll be 62 feet instead of 60 feet, which is also really dumb because it's going to make your pitchers throw harder. It's going to make the stress on the arms even more. I can see where you could see from a standpoint where it'll give the pitchers a little bit more time on a comebacker, but it won't make a big difference. And they're arguing that's going to give batters more of a time to see what type of pitch is coming out of the pitcher's hand. And that to me, that no, this baseball game is built on defense. This is a defensive game, and that's how you win championship games. And there's a reason why people don't score more than like 10 runs a game, not even 5. And we like it defense. We've had it for over 100 years, and I don't really think the MLB should be tampering with the rules at all. Maybe experimenting would be kind of cool, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't get to a point where it's permanent, especially moving the mound back, because that's just extremely unhealthy to pitchers.
yeah, and also, but here's the thing. I agree with you on those ones. Those ones shouldn't be changed. But them banning the shift, it honestly wouldn't be the worst thing. I
Hmm.
don't. If any of you were watching the second at bat of Bryce Harper, so he got walked for the second time. He walked out twice. Walked twice. But they had a shift yesterday, the Blue Jays, where they had 4 guys in the outfield and nobody on the left side of the infield.
Hmm.
You shouldn't be able to do that. You should not be able to have anybody on the left side of the infield, 4 guys in the outfield, and only 1 guy on the right side of the outfield.
Hmm.
As the other guy was there was 2 guys in the grass, not in the actual outfield, but in that outfield infield area. That should not be allowed, in my opinion. How can you do that? You have to either make a rule where it has to be um, at least 2 guys on each side of the infield, or you have to make the rule of no guys, no infielders on the outfield grass. Either one of them, because that's ridiculous that you can do that.
Yeah, I don't like the. What I agree with you on that. I just don't like the guys in the outfield. I'll be fine if you shift them, especially to the lefty. If they have maybe 3 infielders on the right side, but none of them in the outfield is grass. I also like the 5-man infield. That's also pretty cool. And then it's just a risk take that you like to take. Is something that, especially when batters beat the shift, it just makes the other team look bad.
And here's the problem: like the game, like in the past, back in the day, they knew they shifted on the bigger hitters,
Hmm.
like the guys that were the home run hitters. But it was these other guys, these 6, 7, 8 guys that weren't being shifted on because we didn't know enough about them. Now with analytics, you know so much about everybody,
Hmm.
so you can shift on everybody.
And
So there has to be a rule in place because of the way the technology is. There has to be a rule in place to stop the shift with either the infield guys in the outfield or there being certain guys on each side of the field.
yeah, I certainly agree with that. I mean, because pitchers throw it inside purposely, so it's going to be very hard to beat the shift. If that. Moving on to some NHL, let's quick MLB rant for there. Nick, you had a rant about the Flyers game that happened, I think, yesterday. What happened?
Yeah, it was last night, and the Flyers won the game. They won the game out on the island. They've beaten the Islanders, supposedly one of the best teams in the NHL. Oh yeah, they beat them twice in 6 days, and the Flyers really aren't that great, so they really shouldn't be beating anybody twice in 6 days if they're that good. They got their ass kicked by the Capitals, so they really shouldn't be doing this good against the Islanders if the Islanders are the real deal. I think this is just proving the Islanders are not the real deal. But the point is, there's a play. It's the second period, and Jake Voracek, who is one of my least favorite players. I despise this man. He hates the fans. He's a huge hater of the fans for like no reason. So yeah, I don't really care about him. He is like whatever to me. I don't care what happens to him. But this just annoys me as a hockey fan. This doesn't even annoy me as a Flyers fan as much as it does as a hockey fan. So there's a puck in the corner, and Voracek's going for the puck, and Boychuk, whose hand is not even on the stick, or his hand is on the stick, but his stick is lifted. His stick is lifted so that he is going for the hit on Voracek. He is not even going for the puck, which is in the corner.
Hold on.
Boychuk,
Let me look at that. Let me look at the video. Keep on going. Sorry.
Boychuk is looking to hit Voracek. His hands are not even on the stick if you look at it closely. He's going for the hit on Voracek, and now Voracek, he is going for the puck also, and Boychuk's going the direction of the puck, but Boychuk's going to hit Voracek away from the puck because there's another Islander that you see on the other side that not really involved in this play. But so Voracek, out of self-defense, raises his shoulder, doesn't even raise his feet. His feet never leave the ice. His feet are on the ice the whole time. He raises his shoulder, and it hits it's shoulder-to-head contact. Foot is never raised. Feet are on the ice, but it's shoulder-to-head contact. Hits Boychuk. Boychuk like falls down like a soccer player. Nothing happened. Wasn't even that bad. Wasn't nearly as bad as when Mantha cross-checked Giroux into the boards about a month ago, if you remember that. He didn't get anything for that.
Yeah.
Malkin got 1 game for swinging a stick.
Well, I think
But Voracek gets 2 games for lifting his shoulder. Not even his feet, his shoulder. And he's not a repeat offender. He's never been suspended or fined by the NHL. And this is ridiculous. This is showing how messed up this player safety department is. They're so inconsistent. They are one of the most inconsistent departments in professional and collegiate sports. They are absolutely atrocious. And this has happened with other players in the past. This is not a first-time thing. This makes no sense. And it's not like, okay, here's the other thing. Voracek himself made the situation worse when he said he wanted to destroy Boychuk. Now, there is a reason for that. Boychuk purposely sucker punched Nolan Patrick last week, one of the Flyers' young stars, because he's Johnny Boychuk, and Johnny Boychuk's a pretty dirty player, to be honest with you. So I don't even know. Here's the thing: if this is like a struggling team, this isn't happening right now. Voracek's not getting suspended. But it's the Islanders, and the Islanders are supposedly this new hot team, and they play in New York, the biggest market in the NHL headquarters. And yeah, that's why the Islanders are struggling franchise too. By the way, with attendance and stadiums and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a hot team. They're a hot young team they're gonna make the playoffs. And Jake Voracek, this dirty guy who is this supposedly who's playing for a team that's fighting for the playoffs and isn't even guaranteed the playoffs. Oh, he's not. NHL's like, oh, that team's not guaranteed the playoffs. Islanders guaranteed the playoffs. Mr. Voracek suspension. Eichel. Is he guaranteed the playoffs? No, Eichel's not guaranteed the playoffs. Eichel, get your ass over here. 2-game suspension for Jack Eichel today also. One of the NHL's rising stars. Here's what I'm telling you. If you're not in the playoffs, you're getting suspended. If your team's not going to the playoffs, you're getting suspended for anything like that. Even if you don't do anything. Suspended. You hit someone, suspended. Your team's not making the playoffs. Suspended. Oh, you play for the Blue Jackets? Your team's not guaranteed the playoffs. Suspended. Everybody's getting suspended. You might as well suspend everybody. It's a joke.
Yeah, okay. So I'm watching the video right now, and what it seems to me right now is the puck goes into the corner, right? Now, it would have been fine. It's literally maybe 5 feet away from Voracek. Now, I'm not calling Voracek a dirty player, because if this is his first offense...
No,
then,
and Voracek said after the game he thought the puck was closer to him. He looked at the video, he thought the puck was closer to him.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, and it looks really close to him. Now, what I would say is if it's closer to him, he should have just gone for the puck. What he does is he stops. And I can see 2 hands on the stick right now from Boychuk. And Boychuk has his head down. If Boychuk does have his head down, probably trying to go for the puck. And I think the definition right now for suspension is maybe 2 games might be enough, might be too much, but since Boychuk was down on the ground and he needed medical attention, that has to be something to look at. It's Malkin swinging his stick, I forget against who. Whoever. Raffle. He needed...
That's way worse
No,
than
I'm not...
shoulder raise.
He got him straight in the head while Malkin barely grazed a shoulder. Now, I'm not saying what Malkin did was right, but this is a head contact, and we all know how valuable your head is.
Okay, I want you right now to look up the Anthony Mantha cross-check on Claude Giroux.
No, I saw that.
Right in the back of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing. You know why? Because the Flyers aren't a playoff team. If you're not a playoff team, that's how it works. If you are not a playoff team, your players get suspended, but actions against your players don't happen.
Okay, here's the thing.
Tom Wilson's like the only guy that gets suspended if it's a playoff team. And that's because he's Tom Wilson. He does dirty shit like constantly.
Here's the thing. Maybe like a half a second before Voracek drills Boychuk, he looks back and then sees Boychuk. He doesn't. It's not like he's looking towards the puck the whole time. He looks back, sees Boychuk, and then he puts that dirty hit. And Boychuk's completely defenseless too, going into the board. They're both. If he was trying to play the puck, then that's fine. But he just didn't try to play the puck. The puck was near him. He could have easily gone and played the puck, and there was another Islander there too. So he could have gone and played the puck against that other Islander player, and not go for Boychuk at all. Or yeah, Boychuk
was going after him though. So
no, they were both going. He was going for the puck. You can see his hand was on the stick.
Boychuk was not going for the puck. If you are looking at that wrong. Boychuk was going for Boychuk. You could tell from the video.
He was looking at the puck the whole time while Voracek just stops.
His stick is literally facing Voracek as though he's going to go after him.
The stick is down, not like on the ground, but it's like down, going for the puck.
He's going after
no, it's not on the ground. It's on the ground, not on the ground. He's trying to play the puck while Voracek the puck is close to him. It was close to Voracek. He could have easily gone for that puck while he's just sitting there and not doing anything. And he looks back and sees Boychuk there, and then he gives him a hit into the head. I think any head collision should be suspended, a suspension, or at least a fine. I would have probably gone a fine here just because it wasn't that bad of a hit. But I'd still see how this could be a suspension because he was still on the ground and he needed medical attention.
I don't see that as a big deal, but
I mean that's a Philly thing, and you guys aren't really You guys, what'd you think of Simmons's hit on Dumoulin?
That wasn't that bad.
See, that's a Philly thing. You
See,
got
these hits aren't that bad. People are just pussies.
yeah, this is a Philly thing, guys. That they don't really see bad thing. They
I
don't
just
see.
don't see these hits as bad. They're like, I don't really understand how these hits could be bad. I just see.
That's just yeah. This is
I
something.
just see guys. I just see guys falling. To be honest with
This is your. I mean, this is your point of view. I mean, you obviously have your right to think that way. Obviously, I have my right to think that way. And this is what this channel is for: to argue and to go at each other. But yeah, I mean,
But anyway,
maybe
so we want to get into
I probably would have
college
gone.
basketball.
First, yeah, I'd probably say a fine. In that, probably not a suspension. I'd definitely see a big ass fine for that. But quickly before we get to college basketball, I just want to quickly talk about Pittsburgh. As they're taking on Boston right now, they split a home and home series. I just want to give you guys how crucial the next couple days are against for this Pittsburgh Penguins schedule. They were able to beat the Blue Jackets in one of the best games I've seen Pittsburgh play all year. At home.
This is like the most Pittsburgh thing I've ever seen in my life.
But this is
They
yeah.
are the most inconsistent team ever.
Yeah.
And now it's March. Oh, we have to be good again. It's like what the fuck.
They're so inconsistent. They played probably their best game, shutting out the Blue Jackets 3-0 on Friday. I'm sorry, not on Friday, on Thursday. Great game by them. Great defensive game. Great all-around game. It's a home and home. They go to Columbus and they get crapped on 4-1. Nothing's changed within like goalies or anything. Nothing's changed, but it's at Blue. It's in Columbus, which is even worse because Pittsburgh does so well in Columbus. They had an 8-game win streak against Columbus, including the playoffs. They get crapped on 4-1. This is how crucial. Now they play the Bruins, who they're they're winning 1-0 against. Obviously, it's early in the first period, so anything can go. Tuesday they're hosting the Capitals. Then they play Sabres and the Blues, Flyers again, Hurricanes, Predators, Stars, Rangers, Predators. So this is going to be a huge month for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they have to win at least the majority of this game if they want to make a run for a postseason spot.
Agree.
Because this is so inconsistent. You can't win and play your best game, in my opinion, 3-0, with Murray doing amazing. They had about 12 shots in the last 30 seconds. Murray stopped every 12 shots, which was great. He stopped 25 shots in the game, which was great. And then they just didn't play well against Columbus on yesterday, which was really weird. And this is something that you just don't see Pittsburgh do. And Pittsburgh's now just scored another goal, up 2-0. But yeah, let's get to the major part of the podcast. Like you see on the screen here, within the next.
So before we get to the bigger conferences, I do want to cover this one. It's a mid-major. It's one of the bigger mid-majors, the A10. It's my conference. It's my favorite conference. So I just want to cover that. Millan probably doesn't know much about it, if anything about it. So I just want to cover it real quick. If you're okay with that.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So the tournament starts on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday, and I got GW playing UMass on Wednesday. GW and UMass are GW is one of our charter members in 1977, but neither of these games are gonna be on television. GW, UMass, or Richmond versus Fordham. Fordham needs to be kicked out of this conference. They are terrible. So I think Richmond's gonna win that second game there versus Fordham. I do see GW beating UMass. I actually see UMass beating GW. Sorry. And then on Thursday, we got Rhode Island taking on LaSalle. LaSalle somehow ended up as a 9th. LaSalle had a terrible year. I don't know how they ended up as a 9th. Rhode Island, I think, is going to win that game pretty easily, actually. I don't know how LaSalle ended up being the 9th. Pretty crazy. So George Mason will play UMass, who are played on Wednesday. George Mason, one of those teams that always seems to have a good regular season, doesn't usually do much in the A10 tournament. I do think they will beat UMass, though. And then we got Duquesne versus St. Joe's. St. Joe's, my A10 team. Duquesne finally having a good year this year. Actually, a pretty good year. Beat Pitt and Notre Dame out of the conference. So pretty good year for Duquesne. I do think those St. Joe's, Phil Martelli coach team, you got to trust them. St. Joe's going to take down Duquesne. And then St. Louis taking on Richmond if Richmond is to win in my tournament. St. Louis somehow choked in A10 play. St. Louis, great team. They're taking down Richmond on Thursday. Friday, VCU, 3 losses all year. They were out of conference. I forget. Actually, 2 of them were in conference. One of them was out of the conference. I forget who. They've beaten Temple. They've beaten tons of good teams. So I have VCU playing Rhode Island. VCU got to win that game. Rhode Island, great team. Fats Russell, Philly boy from Immenhop, great player. Love Fats Russell. I think VCU's beating Rhode Island, though. Then you got St. Bonaventure's taking on George Mason. St. Bonaventure's bumblefuck is where they're from. Doesn't matter. St. Bonaventure got a great fan base, great team. Bonaventure beats Mason. Davidson taking on St. Joe's. Davidson is a great program. Davidson is one of the best programs in the country, in my opinion. Davidson does take down St. Joe's, in my opinion. Then you got Dayton versus St. Louis. Dayton, another great team. St. Louis, another great team. A battle of the two Midwestern teams in this conference. I think Dayton wins, but St. Louis could very easily win. If we see Dayton versus St. Louis, be excited for that one. Then on Saturday in the semifinals, VCU versus Bonaventure. One hell of a game. If we get VCU Bonaventure, be excited. Two great games on CBS. That'll be on. VCU versus Bonaventure. Be excited for it if we get it. VCU will win, but it'll be a tight one. No further than 10 points for this one. VCU goes to the finals. CBS on Sunday. Davidson taking on Dayton. If we see Davidson Dayton, also be very excited. I think Davidson's great. I don't think they're going to beat Dayton, though. I got a really weird feeling that Dayton's going to do really good. Dayton usually does very good, but I got a good feeling. Then we got Dayton versus VCU. VCU got to win. VCU's winning this tournament. VCU is an amazing team. They got one of the best teams in the country. I don't know how they're not ranked, to be honest with you. VCU's amazing. And, I mean, to be honest, this could be a three-bid league with VCU, Dayton, Davidson. But we'll see how it all turns out. Now we can get to the bigger conferences in the law.
Yeah, so if you guys were not honestly, I don't know about you, Nick, but I sat at home and watched college basketball. This is probably the best week of college basketball that I've seen. I watched earlier. My Iowa State team losing to Texas Tech. Iowa State has been struggling recently in tournament and conference play. Auburn upsetting number 5 Tennessee, and watching to sink Tennessee a lot. Come the selection Sunday, Florida State beating Wake Forest, Wofford beating VMI. Villanova getting upsetted by Seton Hall or Seton Hall, depending on where you're from.
Seton Hall. It's
yeah.
not Seton Hall. It's not Seton Hall.
I don't know. Some people call it Seton Hall, where I'm from.
They're retarded. That's
I know.
not what it's called.
I know. Kentucky beating Florida. Kansas beating Baylor. Purdue beating Northwestern. Georgetown upsetting Marquette. Virginia beating Louisville. Temple getting upsetting UCF.
Temple, a great program. Watch out for them.
Yes, they are, especially in the American Conference. Duke couldn't get the revenge they wanted in Chapel Hill, losing by 9 against North Carolina. So that's going to be huge with Zion Williams out again. Kansas State beating Oklahoma. Michigan State upsetting Michigan in another rivalry game. LSU beating Vanderbilt, and Nevada beating San Diego State. So getting through the conference play, this is going to be very huge, especially in the ACC. Do you want to start off there? Because that's probably one of the better.
I would actually like to finish there because I think that's the best.
Want to finish there? What do you want to start with?
I think we either start with the American or the Big 12.
Let's start with the American. Yeah. Other than ACC, we'll go alphabetical order.
The ACC and the Big 10 will be last.
Yeah. We will go by ABC order, other than ACC and Big 10. So we're gonna start with American or American East. They're all the same.
Oh, we're doing American East.
We don't have to. We'll go American because.
Okay, we'll do American. American's the big one.
So as of right now, we have a top 3: Houston, Cincinnati, UCF. But I'm not counting out Temple. They're also a really good program. Connecticut has a chance to pull off the big upsets, which I've seen them do in the past. Do I think they'll make noise? They'll make a little bit. They might win their first game. I don't think they're gonna probably win the American, especially with a very strong.
Yeah, because if UConn's got that 8-9 game, which means they run to Houston on Friday, and I don't see them beating Houston.
No, they won't.
Houston should win this tournament, but this is such a deep tournament that really nobody is guaranteed anything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can argue. Tulane is 0-18 in the.
Tulane is losing. Tulane got screwed yesterday. Okay, they didn't get screwed by the refs or anything, but they just got screwed in general. I mean, Tulane has no chance of ever winning a basketball game again after what happened yesterday. They are 3 seconds away from taking Wichita State to overtime, and Wichita State, this guy, swishes a fadeaway three-point shot to win the game. I don't see that very often. I saw it yesterday between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, you can count out SMU, ECU, and Tulane. Can UConn? They have the chance. They always have the grit and the perseverance to pull off big upsets. Do I think they'll upset a team like Houston? No, I don't think so. But they can easily upset a team like Temple or Memphis.
Yeah. So let's just look at the bracket, and we can pick the games way by way.
I do not have a bracket up on me, but
I have the bracket, so I can show it to you. So we got South Florida versus UConn on Thursday. That's the 8 versus 9 seed. Connecticut, in my opinion, will beat South Florida.
Mm-hmm.
South Florida has a very good team, nonetheless, but UConn, in my opinion, all those years of experience have got to help them. I think UConn will beat South Florida.
Mm-hmm. I do agree with that one.
Then also on Thursday, Memphis will play Tulane. I think it's pretty easy. The tournament's in Memphis, first off, and then Tulane also is not a very good team. Obviously, not winning a single conference game. I think Memphis will win that one pretty easily.
Yeah.
Then we got Tulsa versus SMU. This is a tough game to pick. I think it's going to be. I'm going to go with.
What is it?
You know,
Tulsa? Okay.
I'm going to pick the upset. I'm going to go with SMU. It's the tournament. Anything can happen. This is a 7-10 game, and Tulsa is not exactly the best team in the tournament or anything. But I'll say SMU. You know what? I'll say SMU. They got Larry Brown as coach too.
I'm gonna go with Tulsa, and I think this is gonna be. I think Tulsa's in the same boat as Connecticut, good enough to win their first game, but I don't think they're gonna go farther than that.
Yeah, and then also Wichita State versus East Carolina. I'll go with Wichita State. Wichita State's Wichita State. East Carolina has never been very good. I think Wichita State wins that one pretty good.
Yep.
Then the quarterfinals will have both of us picked it to be UConn versus Houston, and I think Houston wins that one pretty easily.
Yeah, by at least 20.
Have the power to beat Houston. Then we both picked Memphis, so Memphis would take on UCF. I think UCF wins this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy.
See, Memphis got that home court advantage, which definitely will help them during this tournament.
It'll be close, but I think.
But it's gonna be close because it's the 4-5 game, and also because that home court advantage. But UCF has that one big guy in the middle, 7'7". The one kid, their third best scorer averages 20 points a game. So I think UCF wins this one pretty easily. Then you picked it to be Tulsa Cincinnati. I picked it to be SMU Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati wins no matter who they face. Maybe a bit harder, but Tulsa. But I think Cincinnati wins no matter what.
I say Tulsa is going to win this game too. I think it could. I think.
Oh, you think Tulsa's going to win?
No, sorry. What am I thinking? Sorry, my bad. I said Cincinnati's going to win. I meant to say Tulsa might give a run in the first half, but I think they're going to lose firepower. I think both UConn and Tulsa will be fine in the first half. Keep it close to their respective teams, but then just lose firepower in the second half. That's just the teams that I've seen them play, and that's just the teams that's what they've looked like throughout the whole season.
Yeah, and then finally, the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania-based Temple Owls taking on Wichita State. Wichita State's had a rough year this year, which is interesting because they actually had a pretty good year last year when they were playing their first year in the American Athletic. Not as good their second year. And Temple's having a great year. Plus, Fran Dumphy, it's their coach's last year. He's retiring at the end of the year. So I have to go with Temple.
I'm going to go with... Who is it? Temple? Yeah, I'm going to go with Temple again. They had a very good program. They're 13-5 in conference play. They're 23-8 right now. I think I like what they have, especially with that coach. And I think I've seen them play on TV. They look good, especially in their zone. They have a very tight zone. It's very hard to break. So I'm going to go with them.
Yes, and then I believe we both picked it to be Houston and UCF. I believe you picked UCF over Memphis.
Yeah.
So we'd have Houston, UCF. A very tough game to pick, if we're being honest. And I've seen Houston. This is tough. I'm going to go with UCF. Because UCF. Here's the thing. Houston is a very good team. Houston's dangerous. They're the 1 seed. But Houston also doesn't have as much to play for as UCF. Obviously, Houston wants the conference tournament, but Houston's getting in. Okay, they are getting in. I can promise you that. But I just think UCF with that insane scoring threat, I think they beat Houston. I think they have enough to beat Houston.
Okay, I'll give you that. So basically, on March 2nd, number 8 Houston lost to UCF 69-64. I think this is going to be redemption. I think Houston is going to be pissed off about that loss. A game they should have probably won. And I think they're going to have enough firepower to win this game. And Houston's going to win the American Athletic Conference. They want to win. I don't see why they wouldn't want to win.
I'm not saying they don't want to win. I'm just saying they don't have nearly as much to play for.
Okay.
UCF sort of needs this tournament to win. But if UCF beats Houston, then that might be enough for them.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
And obviously, Houston is number 25 in the UCF is number 25 in the country.
So that's kind of yeah.
Yeah. And then
unless like a 24 or 23
Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF are all ranked. So
those
3 teams should all get in no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Temple is the one that needs this tournament the most.
Yeah.
Because Temple, it's probably gonna be those 4 teams unless Memphis can sneak past UCF, then Memphis get in.
Temple can get in as like a low.
I'm not necessarily saying Temple especially if Temple beats Wichita State, that could push them over. They've already beaten UCF and they've already beaten Houston, so that they might be good already. But I'm just saying, with that win over Wichita State, that'll help.
Mm-hmm.
So then they might be able to lose to Cincinnati and still get in. And I do think Cincinnati will beat Temple on Saturday. If any of you are wondering, I think Cincinnati will win that game.
Yeah. Moving on to the next we're not done?
We still get the finals.
I wasn't paying attention.
You have Houston versus Cincinnati,
Mm-hmm.
and I have UCF for Cincinnati, and I say Cincinnati will win. the American Athletic Conference.
Wow, Houston and Cincinnati for me. Houston did beat Cincinnati.
They played each other today, and Houston won by 15 points.
Yep, and they beat them again by about 9 points last time. So I think Houston's gonna have enough to win. I'm gonna go with Houston. I think the conference is gonna ride high, especially with their win in the earlier upset against UCF. I'm gonna have them winning this conference tournament and going on with their hopes high.
Okay. I think we're going Big 12 next, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Is that the next one in the order?
Let me look.
It's either that or the Big East. I know that.
We're
Either one.
going
Your choice.
Big East, and then
Big
Big
East
12,
first?
and then Big 12. Unless you want to do that last. Oh,
No, I mean, Big East is good, but I'll do Big East now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we'll do Big East. I'm stupid. Big East. Okay, let's do the Big East and let's have some fun with this.
Yeah, the Big East is very fun conference, and I despise one of the teams in that conference and love the rest of them. For that exact reason.
So if you guys don't know who's leading this conference, the team Nick Hates, Villanova is leading this conference, followed by Marquette, Georgetown, Hall, Creighton, Xavier, St. John's, Providence, Butler, and DePaul. So as of right now, I think this is going to be very interesting because I think it's going to be very top heavy. I think it's going to be Villanova and Marquette in the finals. I just don't see anything else happening. Maybe Creighton or Georgetown coming up and probably surprising. But I just see this is going to be a very top heavy conference.
So I'll go through the bracket for you if you want me to.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we got first round Wednesday, Providence versus Butler. It's weird seeing Butler on the first day. Let's not, I'm going to say that first off right off the bat. But I think Butler would beat Providence, even though Butler is the 9 seed. I think Butler beats Providence. Providence having a really good year. But Butler, I like Butler. I like them this year. They just took down Xavier at home. That was a huge win for Butler, obviously. I think Butler beats Providence.
Yeah, I think this could be anyway. I'm going to go with you also. I think Butler has a good program. I think they've always had it in a good program. They've made the Final Four a couple times a while ago. I think this is going to be – and this is like one of those games that it can go either way. I'm also going to go with Butler.
Okay. Also, we have St. John's versus DePaul. That's the second game on Wednesday. I'm going to go with St. John's. St. John's kind of just got screwed on being here on Wednesday. St. John's is very good. Probably, they could honestly be 6 or 5 or 6 in this conference. They're 7, and they got this easy game versus DePaul that they should win. If they don't mess it up, St. John's should beat DePaul.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that one. I think St. John's, if they have to play smart and smooth, I think any mixes up and cause for, I think momentum is going to be a huge factor in this game. I think if St. John's gives any momentum to DePaul, especially in the later part of the game, then DePaul can win this game. But I see St. John doing this, taking care of business.
Agree. So we both have Villanova taking on Butler. I think it's pretty easy. I think Villanova should easily take down Butler at noon on Thursday, or they could take down Providence. Depends on who they are to play. But I think Villanova, in our scenario, Villanova would beat Butler. I think that seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. I was thinking about an upset, but that's not the upset that I see happening.
Yeah, there's another upset. There's some other upsets in here that I could see happening. That's not the one I have in mind.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is Xavier versus Creighton. I think Xavier should probably beat Creighton. But honestly, this is a very hard game for me to pick. 2:30 on Thursday. This is guaranteed. This is set. Xavier's playing Creighton 2:30 on Thursday. Xavier, in my opinion, should win this game. But Creighton is on the bubble. Creighton needs this game. But Xavier's also in the bubble. Okay? So honestly, I'm going to give it to Xavier. I think Xavier beats Creighton, but it could go either way, 2:30 Thursday.
I'm going to go with Creighton. I think they've also had a good past in the tournament. They've made they've gone far, and I think they know what to do to beat Xavier. Xavier hasn't had a bad year. I mean, they're 500. They are 500. I mean, they're both 500. But Creighton has had a slightly better year than Xavier in outside the conference play. So I have Creighton winning this game.
Okay. Then we have Marquette versus, we both said St. John. They could also play DePaul, 7 o'clock on Thursday. This is the upset I see. I see St. John's beating Marquette. Marquette has had a terrible end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, they've lost their last 3 games. Marquette needs this tournament. They need to make it to the semifinals. They need to beat St. John's. if they want to be guaranteed into March Madness. Now, they should guarantee make it, but you lose to St. John's quarterfinals, Big East tournament. I'm not guaranteeing you anything. I say St. John's takes down Marquette.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that too as well. But I think this is such a high-powered, top-heavy conference. I'm just gonna say Marquette's gonna win this game easy. No, pretty easily.
Okay. And then the other game on Thursday, 9:30, Seton Hall versus Georgetown. Seton Hall, hot end of the year. Beat Marquette and Villanova, the two best teams in the conference. I say Seton Hall beats Georgetown. I don't even think it's going to be honestly that close. Seton Hall played Georgetown just last week, I believe, in D.C., and they went to double overtime.
Mm-hmm.
This is a neutral site, but it's not really neutral because it's only 20 minutes from Seton Hall's campus. You cannot tell me Seton Hall will lose to Georgetown. Seton Hall wins this game.
Yeah, like you said, Seton Hall did go to Georgetown. They ended up losing that game, 77-71. But,
I know they lost.
But they're riding on a 2-game win streak where they beat Marquette and they beat Villanova, the top 2 seeds. And riding that hot, like, if you're Seton Hall, you got to be on top of the world here. There's no way you should lose to Georgetown, especially after beating Marquette and Villanova. I mean, both at home, but still, that's you knocked off the top 2 seeds right there.
Yeah, and this is not, that far for Seton Hall fans and Seton Hall students. Only 20 minutes from campus.
Yeah.
Then the semifinals. You picked Creighton, so it's Villanova versus Creighton for you. Villanova versus Xavier for me. I'm going with Villanova.
I'm going with Villanova as well. I don't.
Yeah.
As much as Creighton could beat Xavier, they're 9-9 in conference play, 18-13, while Villanova is 22-9 and 13-5 in conference play. I just think Villanova is too hot for this Creighton team to handle.
Yep, and then I believe I have St. John's versus Seton Hall. You have Marquette versus Seton Hall. I'm going with Seton Hall. Yeah, I think Seton Hall is making it to the finals. I think we're going to see a Villanova Seton Hall rematch just a week after their last meeting. I think we're going to see Seton Hall versus Villanova again. You have Marquette versus Seton Hall.
Yeah. Wow. This is tough. And I'm going to go with Marquette here, and I have to go with Marquette. And this is the reason why Marquette is not a ranked team for no one. They're not like Wofford or Buffalo that just they got put in. And they just got put in because they felt bad. I'm just messing with them. But no, I think Marquette is a ranked team for a reason. I think they'll be able to adapt to that loss they had against Seton Hall. And I think they'll be able to adapt and learn from their mistakes and take down Seton Hall. I think that's what's going to happen. It'll be Seton Hall Villanova Big East, and I say Villanova is going to win it. Who do you have?
I would say Villanova wins. Yeah, I think Villanova wins this conference, but it's going to be close. I think that Seton Hall game could be a 4 or 5 point game. It's going to be close.
I don't see championship being so. It's not going to be a blowout, and I'm not saying Seton Hall is not going to go anywhere. I think they're going to. I wouldn't be surprised if they made the finals. I wouldn't be. I'm just saying that Marquette is just a good enough team to adapt to their mistakes.
Definitely agree. Marquette is one of the best teams in the country. I mean, I'm not saying that Marquette can't beat Seton Hall. I just think with it being so close to Seton Hall, and I actually had Seton Hall playing St. John's. I had Marquette losing to St. John's. But the point is, I think no matter what, Marquette is probably still going to make the tournament. I think they definitely want to win. I definitely think that Marquette knows that they've been losing recently. So Marquette is not like Houston, where I thought, Houston doesn't need much time. I know for a fact Marquette wants to win this tournament because Marquette needs this tournament badly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they're on the bubble. They should make it though.
They're not on the bubble. They're not on the bubble.
But bubbles
If they lose in the quarterfinals on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they're a bubble team.
Yeah.
So now we're going on to the Big 12, I believe.
Yeah, Big 12. I'm just looking up something. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Big 12. My conference for Iowa State, as I'm an Iowa State basketball fan. As you guys, as the conference finished up, we have Texas Tech taking the top. Then we have Kansas State, Kansas, Baylor, Iowa State, Texas, Oklahoma, TCU, Oklahoma State, West Virginia University. So like I've said in the past, I honestly thought the Big 12 has been probably one of the strongest basketball conferences, one of the best probably, because we've seen every single one of these. We've seen every single team make the tournament in one way or another. As of right now, I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, TCU, Oklahoma, maybe even Texas might not make it, and maybe you can even debate Iowa State might not make it. But I think they will. But this is going to be a very interesting, and you're gonna be very surprised with my pick and who I think will go to the finals and who I think will be out first. Let's jump right into the bracket.
Let's do that. So Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. This whole tournament's in Kansas City, Missouri. TCU takes on Oklahoma State. I think TCU will win this game.
TCU, Oklahoma State. Yeah, okay.
I think TCU wins. TCU is on the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma State's not. Oklahoma State and West Virginia are the only teams in this conference that
Or out.
are not. They're out of it. And Oklahoma could also be considered out of it. To be fair, TCU's not out of it yet. To be fair, TCU is still in this thing. They want to win this game a lot more than Oklahoma State does. Oklahoma State would like to probably upset some teams, but TCU needs it a lot more. And TCU is going to be going at full speed, trying to take this team down. TCU has been a little cold recently. I saw them play that Kansas State game,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, on Tuesday. They lost that game. That was not good. Kansas State's the best team in the conference. You beat Kansas State, you're probably in right now. You probably just need a win. You're probably got the single bye. Or there's only one bye here, so you probably got that bye into going not playing on Wednesday. They got screwed. They got to play on Wednesday. Now they got to beat Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna agree with you. I like Oklahoma State hasn't played well at all this whole year. They're 5-13, 12-19. I mean, yeah, you won 12 games, but still, I think TCU their motivation factor is gonna lead them to a victory here against Oklahoma State.
Agreed. And then later at 9 o'clock, we have Oklahoma versus West Virginia. Oddly enough, two teams that were actually in this thing last year. They were the two top dogs last year. Look how much a year does. But I think Oklahoma. Actually,
I have West Virginia winning this game.
I think West Virginia wins. You know what? West Virginia is a great program. Bob Huggins is a great coach, and they're having a rough year. I'll be the first to admit that. But guess what? West Virginia's good. They're not good, but they got that. They got that factor, man. They got that West Virginia factor where they have a chance. Oklahoma is just not without. When Oklahoma gets a star player, they're amazing. And Oklahoma gets star players. They don't have that star. They don't have that Trae Young or Blake Griffin this year.
Yeah.
So I think West Virginia wins.
I have West Virginia winning this game. Yes, you're 4-14 in conference play, 12-19 right now in the season, but they were one of the biggest threats last year. And why? Because it wasn't a West Virginia basketball. It was press Virginia. Their press worked amazing. Turned almost all their points in the tournament last year were based off of turnovers off the press. I think they're going to go back to that. They're going to find their rhythm. And I think they're going to beat Oklahoma in this game.
Yes, I agree with you. Thursday, 12:30, ESPN2, Millan Cyclones taking on the Baylor Bears. I think Iowa State wins. Yeah, Iowa State's been a little cold recently, but Iowa State's had a pretty good year besides that. Baylor, I haven't seen much of Baylor, to be fair, because you never really think of Baylor as a school you watch for basketball. But I do like Iowa State. They've had a very good year, so I think Iowa State does beat Baylor and move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, Iowa State lost to Texas this month. Lost to Texas, lost to West Virginia, lost to Texas Tech. They haven't won a game since 25th. The stadium's game against home to Oklahoma, and so they've been really cold for a long time. But I do see them getting the win. I think they're going to beat Baylor and move on to the semifinals.
Agree. And now
they have the talent to it. They also have the talent to do it too.
Agree. So now we have Kansas State versus, I think we both said TCU. So we got Kansas State versus TCU, a game that we just recently saw. I believe it was this past Tuesday, March 12th, or maybe it was the 11th. It was
the 4th. It was the 4th.
It was the 4th. Sorry, saw this game the 4th, and Kansas State won by 12 points.
Yep.
Won by 12 points. And I think Kansas State will win again. I don't know if they'll win by 12 points, but they will win again. I got a good feeling about Kansas State. This kid, Barry Brown, I think he's pretty good, right? He averages, I think, around 20 points a game. He's pretty good. And actually, no one's ever played more games for Kansas State than Barry Brown. And I think that this is a team that wants that championship. I honestly do believe Kansas State can beat TCU, even if TCU is looking for that, looking for that way in the tournament. But I think TCU's going to the NIT no matter what. Not that's the goal for anybody, but they're going to the NIT no matter what. Kansas State, they haven't had a Big 12 title in They haven't had a Big 12 title in 5 years, or 6 years. So they definitely want one of these.
I think TCU is like a UConn team. It's good enough to make it out of the first round, but other than that, I think they're pretty screwed. I have Kansas State also winning this game.
Yes, definitely. Now we have Texas Tech versus West Virginia. Texas Tech wins. Texas Tech. I've been talking about Texas Tech since November. I love Texas Tech. I honestly don't know how they didn't get the 1 seed, but
They are the 1 seed right now in
No, they're the 2 seed. Texas Tech's the 2 seed.
for the Big 12.
Yeah, Big 12.
Nope, they're the 1 seed. They're over Kansas State.
Then Texas Tech would play.
Oh, Texas. Wait, hold on. Yeah, Texas
Texas
Tech. They're over now. They're over West Virginia right now.
Yeah, they're over West Virginia. They're not over Kansas State.
They're over Kansas State. Kansas State has a 2 seed.
Oh, then you should have corrected me because that means Texas Tech plays TCU.
Okay, now we just messed up everything. My bad.
Yeah, I mean that's your fault, brother. If you think TCU Texas Tech is the 1 seed,
I know it's the 1 seed. I'm looking at ESPN right now.
then Texas Tech would be. Oh no, they're not. It says it right here.
Texas Tech 14-4. Kansas State 14-4. But
Yeah, but that's not the way the seeding works. The seeding still works as Texas Tech's the 2 seed. Even it doesn't matter what the standings say. The seeding is different than the standings.
why would
Texas
they
Tech,
wait
Texas Tech's the 2 seed.
in the standings and on ESPN? Texas
Yes,
Tech
I'm
is
well
number
aware.
1.
That's because the ESPN does it by non-con record also. Everything the Big 12 does, the Big 12 tournament is done by conference records and conference tiebreakers. Kansas State is the 1 seed.
That's stupid, but okay. Let's keep on going.
So Texas Tech does play West Virginia. I am correct. Texas Tech does play West Virginia, and Texas Tech will beat West Virginia because they are the best team in the Big 12, contrary to what the seeds say. They're the best team in the Big 12. They have a better record overall, as Millan has previously stated. And Texas Tech, I've been talking about this team forever. They made it to the Sweet 16 last year, lost to Villanova. But Texas Tech has got a phenomenal team. Watch out for them. I've been talking to them since the beginning of the year. West Virginia is not the same team they have been in recent years. They will lose, or Texas Tech will advance to the semifinals.
I think Texas Tech, they've looked great against Iowa State, and they're a full team that we haven't seen in a long time. I think last year in the Sweet 16, we've seen sparks of greatness, and I think they're going to continue doing big things, especially down in the real tournament. I see them winning this game too.
Yeah, and then I think this next one, Kansas versus Texas. Somehow Kansas is the 3 seed in this conference. I honestly don't know how. It feels weird saying Kansas is the 3 seed. For the past 15 years or whatever, we've been saying, hey, Kansas the 1 seed, now Kansas the 3 seed. So Kansas is going to obliterate Texas, and it's not even going to be close.
I think, I see Kansas winning this game. They've been struggled a little bit, but they're strong enough to beat Texas.
Agree. So now we have our semifinals, which I believe we both said Iowa State would win, and I believe we both said Kansas State win. So we have Iowa State, Kansas State. I'm going Kansas State. Barry Brown and Kansas State are, honestly, they're looking for this Big 12 title. They know their alumni and their fans want it. They haven't won in 6 years. Kansas State is this 1 seed that's made this magical Big 12 run, and they're like now the new team from Kansas that everybody knows about. They're now the best team in Kansas, and they want to continue to be the best team in Kansas, and they want to beat Iowa State. And I'm not saying Iowa State doesn't want this, as Iowa State knows that they probably need to win some games in this tournament to make it to the March Madness, even though they should make it, especially if they beat Baylor. But I say Kansas State will beat Iowa State.
Now, Kansas, I have Iowa State winning this game, and here's why. Iowa State plays in Ames, Iowa. And their home court is called Hilton Coliseum. In the Big 12 tournament, we call it Hilton South because I know this is in Kansas, and Kansas State is literally 27 minutes away from the Big 12 tournament, but they don't bring as many fans as Iowa State does. Iowa State literally brings down their whole campus. We call it Hilton South for a reason because we literally turn it into another Hilton Coliseum. Iowa State has a huge, absolutely huge home. It's just like a home court advantage for Iowa State, and they're fed off of it so much. They've won the past couple of Big 12 tournaments because of their fan bases. They beat a very good West Virginia team. They've knocked off Kansas. They've knocked off a very good Oklahoma team when Oklahoma was really good. I have Iowa State winning this game because they'll figure out they haven't been playing well. They haven't won a game in a little less than a month. And they're going to find ways. Steve Prohm has been great. I think this Hilton South is going to make a big deal and make a big difference in this tournament. I think Iowa State's going to win this game.
Okay. And then I believe we both have Texas Tech and Kansas, which is a very tough game to choose from.
I have Texas Tech. I've seen Kansas look good, and I've also seen them look not as strong. I just have Texas Tech. They've looked so much more consistent and so much stronger than Kansas. Not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I just have Texas Tech winning this.
This is a tough game for me to choose because Kansas is like your blue blood in this conference. And now Texas Tech is like this new team that everybody is like, hopping on the bandwagon for. And here's the thing. Both times that these two teams played each other, the home team obliterated the away team. When Texas Tech went to Kansas, Kansas won by 20 points, or 17 points, sorry. When Kansas went to Texas Tech won by 29 points. So the home team always obliterates the away team. Now, if I'm doing the basic math here, Kansas is closer to Kansas City than Texas Tech is. And since the two times these two teams have played each other, the home team has absolutely obliterated the away team. Since it's a neutral site game, but it's closer to Kansas, I'm going to say Kansas does win this game, and it's probably going to be a 5-6 point game. Kansas goes to the finals.
Interesting. But like I said, I have Texas Tech winning this game.
So you have Texas Tech and Kansas State in the finals. So you have Texas Tech and Iowa
State in the finals, yeah.
So you go with who you think's going to win this.
Wow, this is going to be rough for me. We saw Iowa State lose, and they looked very good in the first half against Texas Tech. And they lost by 7 on Saturday. Oh, that was yesterday. Wow. You go first. I need to think about this a little bit more.
Okay, so the two times that Kansas State and Kansas have played, we have two completely different matchups. No common denominators in our two matchups. I have Kansas State, Kansas in Kansas City, which isn't even in Kansas. So we got Kansas and Kansas State in a city that's named after the state that's not even in the state. So, but the point is, these two teams are very. It's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Kansas State. Okay, here's why. Kansas is having a rough year, and for Kansas State, a rough year means they're not in the top 10. Or for Kansas being a rough year means they're not in the top 10. For Kansas State, a good year means they're in the top 25. But, Kansas State, they just got this energy going. They got this good mojo going, this good energy. They know that they okay, Kansas State doesn't feel this pressure often. Kansas feels this pressure every year. They're used to it by now. Kansas State's not used to this. Kansas State wants to win this now. They haven't won one of these in 6 years. And now they're playing their biggest rival, a team they lost to by 15 points just a month ago. And right before that, they won by 7 points. But the point is Kansas State's win. Kansas State is going to be your Big 12 champions, and that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this. This is really rough for me because I have the bias. And like I said, if you guys don't know what Hilton South really is, if you've ever seen a Hilton Coliseum game, it's something else to see. And this home base advantage, it works so much. You will watch a game. You can watch Kansas, Iowa State, blue versus red. You'll see many red, especially when you go see it's at Kansas. You'll see a lot of red. Iowa State has one of the best fan bases I've ever seen in my life because they just travel so much all over the country. They swarmed the bowl game against Washington. But so I have Iowa State winning this game. They looked good enough to compete against Texas Tech. I know they lost by 7, but that was just off of dumb fouls and free throws in last desperation time. I think Iowa State is going to win this Big 12 tournament. I think they've been struggling a bit, yes, but I think they're going to figure out the mojo, especially with that Hilton South. I'm telling you, it's something to look forward to. If you're going to watch the Big 12 with Iowa State playing Hilton South, it's going to be a lot of fans. It's going to be a huge factor. I can't stress it enough. I think they're going to be able to take down Texas Tech and make it into the playoffs, into the tournament.
Okay, yep, definitely agree with you. So if you want to move on now to the SEC or Pac-12.
Let's see. We're not big. You don't want to do Big Sky? No one cares about the Big Sky.
No, okay.
Yeah, so let's move on to the Big South, Big Ten, Big West.
Oh, Big Ten. Go to the Big.
You want to do Big Ten last? Last year?
Yeah, do Big Ten last.
Big West Conference USA, no one really cares. Ivy League, no one really cares. SEC. Let's go to SEC.
Okay, let's do the SEC then.
SEC. So what do we have in here in the SEC? This is more of a football conference, but there's still sparks of greatness. Right now, LSU is leading this division with Tennessee, Kentucky, Auburn, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. Sorry. Auburn, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Florida, Arkansas, Alabama, Texas A&M, Mizzou, Georgia, and Vandy. So that's what we have here. You go.
Yes, and so the first day, Wednesday, we have Missouri versus Georgia, the 12 versus the 13. I think Missouri will win this game. Neither of these teams are obviously very good. Missouri is 13 and 16. Georgia's 11 and 20. So neither of these teams are very good. I think Missouri will win this game, though.
I do too.
Um,
I agree with that.
yeah, I think Missouri wins this game. Georgia has only won. Georgia lost 4 out of their past 5. Missouri lost 3 out of their past 5. So neither of them are very good. But Missouri did beat Georgia 64-39 at Georgia. So I think Missouri beat Georgia.
Yeah.
And then we also have Texas A&M and Vandy. Whenever I see Vandy, I automatically disqualify them because they're an academic school. I think Texas A&M.
They're a baseball school. I don't like it. I mean, yeah, they are, but more
They are a good
baseball.
baseball school, but I think in the end, Texas A&M beats Vandy.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
And now on the second day, we have Arkansas and Florida. A very tough game because both these teams are 17 and 14. Both these teams are 17 and Florida 14. But I'll go with Florida in this one, the higher seed. Florida and Arkansas have not played each other recently, so we can't really go off that. But Florida's lost their last 3, which is rough, and Arkansas has won their last 3. So you would say right off the bat, well, Arkansas should win. Well, Arkansas has also beaten Ole Miss and Vanderbilt in that time span. So those games are a lot easier than what Florida's had to go through with Kentucky and LSU. So I say Florida will beat Arkansas.
Florida did beat Arkansas in January by
Not yet. See, that doesn't
by
matter.
6. I know it was a long time ago, but I also have Florida, they're the higher seed. I think I don't really know much about the SEC. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I like Florida. They've always had good, passionate school and programs, no matter what they've had between baseball, football, and hockey, or basketball. My bad. So I have Florida winning this game.
Yes. So then the next game we'd have here is Auburn versus the winner of Missouri Georgia. We both said Missouri, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be Auburn versus Missouri. Again, these teams haven't played each other, in the past month. They haven't played each other, since 220. But I will say that Auburn will win this game. I think that Auburn they're really good. They are 22 and 9. They have Bryce Brown, who's averaging 19 points a game and is shooting 52%. And then they have Chuma Okeke, who's averaging 9 rebounds a game. So we'll go with Auburn over Mizzou.
I also have Auburn. I think after the way they've played against Tennessee, which was a huge game, especially on senior night, I have them winning. I have Auburn winning this game.
Yep, and then the next game we have here is Ole Miss versus Alabama. I'm going to go with Ole Miss. Brian Tyree averaging 23 points a game. Sorry. And again, these teams have not played each other recently, but Ole Miss is the higher seed. And Ole Miss has had actually a really good year for someone that's not usually a basketball school. So I'll say Ole Miss beats Alabama.
Ole Miss, yeah, I have that too.
And then we have Mississippi State versus the winner of Texas A&M Vanderbilt. We both said Texas A&M, I believe. So we'd have Mississippi State versus Texas A&M, and I'm going to go with Mississippi State because they are 23 and 8 right now, so they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
I have that too. I'll go with that one too.
Then we have LSU versus the winner of Florida Arkansas. We both said Florida, so we have LSU versus Florida.
I think this is where Florida loses.
I think this is where Florida leaves the tournament. LSU's your 1 seed. They're playing very good basketball right now. They are the hottest team in the conference. LSU wins.
Yeah.
Then we have South Carolina versus the winner of Auburn and Missouri Georgia.
Who? South Carolina?
Yeah, South Carolina.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
So South Carolina versus, I believe we both said Auburn. And I think Auburn beats South Carolina.
Auburn beat South Carolina. Yeah, I think Auburn's gonna have a good streak going, especially after beating Kansas.
Yeah, I agree.
Or not Kansas, that's Tennessee. So I have that one.
Tennessee, yeah. And then we have Kentucky. Kentucky versus the winner of Ole Miss, Alabama. We both said Ole Miss. That's Kentucky versus Ole Miss. If I am not mistaken, these two teams did play each other recently, but I may be wrong.
Who?
Kentucky and Ole Miss.
I thought they did too. And Kentucky beat Ole Miss 80-76 on the 5th.
Yes, and that was at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So that would make me say that Kentucky should win this game. That would make me say that if Kentucky beat them by 4 on the road, Kentucky should win this game by about 6 or 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd have Tennessee versus the winner of Mississippi State and Texas A&M or Vanderbilt. And so we have Mississippi State versus Tennessee.
I think Tennessee's gonna have enough to win this game.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee. Tennessee is an insanely good team. And then we have our semifinals, which is the winner of LSU and Florida Arkansas. Sorry, something in my throat. And South Carolina versus the winner of Auburn and Missouri Georgia. So we both picked LSU and Auburn, I believe, to win both those games. So LSU versus Auburn, I'm going with LSU.
LSU and Auburn. I have Auburn going. I'm telling you, I think they're on a streak after winning against Tennessee. And I know it's one game, but I think something to that, like, the non-ranked team beating a top 5 seed does something to your school, does something to your program, and I think it's going to carry them far. And I think this is where Auburn wins.
And then I think we both said Kentucky and Tennessee would win. That means we'd see Kentucky and Tennessee face each other. I think Tennessee takes down Kentucky.
I see the opposite. I see Kentucky taking out Tennessee.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Both teams destroyed each other on their other team's home court.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens there. And then my finals are Tennessee versus LSU. Your finals are Kentucky versus Auburn. So you should go first with Kentucky.
I'm going to go Kentucky in this one. I know Auburn has been great. I have Kentucky. I like Calipari. I've liked what he's done with this team and this program. I'm going to go with Kentucky. They've always been strong.
Okay, and then for me, Tennessee versus LSU. I'm going to go with Tennessee in overtime. Tennessee in overtime over LSU.
Interesting. Very interesting motive there. You said you wanted to leave the big.
I want to go with the. Do you want to do the Pac-12? The Pac-12 is so atrocious. I don't even know if they deserve our time.
No, I don't. No offense to anyone who likes the Pac-12. I'll give you an update. We went to the bracket. Let's give you an update on the standings. Washington, Arizona State, Utah, Colorado, Oregon State, Oregon, UCLA, Arizona, Stanford, USC, Washington State, and California. So that's just the update there. You move on to the Big Ten or the ACC?
We'll do the Big Ten first.
So the Big Ten that has 12 teams, which is kind of annoying. So right now, as it stands, Michigan State leads. We get Purdue, Michigan, Wisconsin, Maryland, Iowa, Minnesota, Ohio State, Indiana, Rutgers, Penn State, Illinois, Nebraska, and Northwestern.
So yes, the Big Ten had co-champions for the first time since 2011-2012. Michigan State and Purdue closed their regular seasons on a high note, but by the virtue of a tiebreaker, the Spartans get the 1 seed, Purdue gets the 2 seed.
Yes.
So on Wednesday, we have Rutgers versus Nebraska. Rutgers is having, they're not the 14 seed for the first time since they joined the conference. They're the 12 seed this year, and they play Nebraska. And Nebraska's had a rough year, and Rutgers has had an actually very good year. So I'm actually going to go with Rutgers over Nebraska.
Rutgers over Nebraska. Where are we here? I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying attention.
It's Rutgers versus Nebraska first round.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rutgers because they're probably higher in the standings. I don't see much of an upset until we get to the top seeds play. So I have Rutgers going.
Then we have Northwestern versus Illinois.
Again,
I'm gonna go with Northwestern.
I do too.
Northwestern's actually the 14 seed. Illinois is the 11 seed, but I'm gonna go with Northwestern anyway.
I'm gonna go with Northwestern because they've had a history of upsetting teams, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did it here, especially against a 7-13 Illinois team. That's been very inconsistent too.
Then on Thursday we'd have Ohio State versus the very controversial at the moment Indiana. Controversial in the means that they might be making March Madness even as they are under 500 in conference play. They're on the bubble right now.
Yeah.
They've swept Michigan State and they've beaten some other big teams. And if Indiana plays Ohio State, I do believe Indiana will win, as Indiana is the 9th seed, Ohio State is the 8th seed. Romeo Langford, averaging 20 points a game, is just playing really good this year. And I do like Indiana over Ohio State.
I do too. I think Indiana has something to play for, especially being a 400 team that couldn't make the tournament. So, I do think that's something to play for.
Then we have Maryland versus the winner of Rutgers, Nebraska. We both said Rutgers, so we'll go with Maryland versus Rutgers. The Eastern Coast teams playing each other. I think we're gonna go with Maryland. Maryland is just having such a great year. They have they've always had a good program, especially when they were in the ACC. The conference they should still be in, but whatever. Mm-hmm. But I do think that Maryland, with Anthony Cohen Jr. will beat Rutgers.
I agree with that one.
And then we have Minnesota versus Penn State. Penn State's our Pennsylvania team. So by that virtue, I think we have to go with I have to go with Penn State here in the first round. Pennsylvania team, I have to pick them. They're not having a great year, but this kid Lamar Stevens, don't know if you've seen him. He averages 24 points a game. Really good. I believe he's from Philadelphia. I'm going to go with Penn State or Minnesota.
As much as I don't really know as much as of the Big Ten, I'm just going to go with the higher seed here in Minnesota winning this game.
And then we have Iowa versus the winner of Illinois and Northwestern. We said Northwestern, so it's Iowa versus Northwestern. Iowa's on a losing streak, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't won in a while. And they're cold right now. That's never good to be cold going into the tournament. I'm going with Northwestern.
Yeah, I mean, I like Iowa. They've always had a good program, especially in the Cy-Hawk tournament. You guys don't know what that is. It's the Iowa State-Iowa game battle for the because they're both Hawks. Wow, this is close. This is good. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Iowa on this one. I think they can be good enough to win this game. I know they're 10-10, but they're kind of like Iowa. They're kind of like Iowa State in the same boat. So I have Iowa winning this.
Yes, so the next one is now we're on Friday, the quarterfinals. Michigan State versus the winner of Ohio State, Indiana. We both picked Indiana, so we have Michigan State versus Indiana. As they always say in football, two teams from the same division face each other in the playoffs. If you sweep them in the regular season, it usually means you're not going to beat them a third time.
Mm-hmm.
Same scenario here. I think Michigan State's going to win. Indiana sweeps them in the regular season. They beat them twice. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times. I'm going with Michigan State over Indiana.
Oh, I definitely agree with that, and not just because of that. I think Michigan State's played very well, especially.
Oh yeah, Michigan State's been playing very great recently. So don't even think that's the only reason I'm picking them. Michigan State has been fire recently. They were getting destroyed by Michigan at the end of the first half last night. Made a huge comeback and they won that game.
Yeah, and that's why their defense has been insane the whole year. They've been tight, especially on that man, and their inbound plays have been absolutely flawless, in my opinion.
Now we have Wisconsin versus the winner of Maryland and Rutgers or Nebraska. We said Maryland would win that game, so it's Wisconsin versus Maryland, and I am going with Maryland. Okay, Wisconsin utterly choked today and barely beat Ohio State in overtime after being up by 15 in the second half. You can't do that in the Big Ten tournament, especially against a team like Maryland, who is very dangerous. So I'm going with Maryland over Wisconsin.
I agree with that one. I think Maryland is. I know Wisconsin's been pretty good, but I have Maryland in this one.
And then we have Purdue versus the winner of Minnesota-Penn State. You picked Minnesota, I picked Penn State. Purdue should beat Penn State or Minnesota. I would go with Purdue.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I think Purdue's been great. They've been strong. They beat my Iowa State team last year. They've been very, very strong in their defensive play, especially in the tournament last year, and they went pretty far. I'm going to go with Purdue.
And then we have Michigan versus the winner of Iowa and Northwestern Illinois. We both picked Northwestern, and then you picked Iowa to beat Northwestern. I picked Northwestern to upset Iowa. So I have Northwestern versus Michigan. This is too easy. Michigan's going to beat Northwestern.
I do agree. I think Iowa's good enough to beat Northwestern, but not good enough to beat Michigan.
Then we have our semifinals. So we have Michigan State in the semifinal. We have Michigan State playing Maryland, and I would go with Michigan State over Maryland.
Michigan State over Maryland. Yeah, I mean Michigan State is Michigan State. There's nothing you can really say about that.
And then we have Purdue versus Michigan, and I'm going Purdue.
I'm going with
Michigan. Okay. I'm going with Michigan. Michigan's been really, besides last night, this has been one of the best teams in the country, in my opinion, and honestly, an Elite Eight, Final Four threat, in my opinion. Both those teams from Michigan are Final Four threats. Michigan goes to the finals for me.
I'm going to go with Purdue. I like their mojo. I like their style of play. It's so
fast. You have the two top seeds, Purdue and Michigan State.
Yeah.
I have the two Michigan teams, Michigan and Michigan State. I'm going, again, like I just said, literally about Michigan State. You beat a team, especially in a rivalry game. This is a true rivalry game. Michigan State. Beat a team 3 times is not usually possible. And also, Michigan State's going to be pissed off. Michigan State was up pretty big in that game in the first half at halftime, and they lost that game. They were trying to upset Michigan State senior night. I don't think Michigan's going to be okay with that. I think Michigan's going to come out here, neutral site, on live national television. Literally, it's the last thing before it's literally Selection Sunday. It's literally the Big Ten tournament, and then 15 minutes later, Selection Sunday. Michigan is going to win this game.
I know this is very relevant, but on January 8th, Michigan State did beat Purdue 77-59, which is a big margin, bigger than we all thought. I don't know. This is more than 20 points. Less than 20 points, my bad. But yeah, 18 points. I don't know. I have Michigan State winning this game. I think they've been very pissed off after the loss, and I think that hatred of losing the game that they should have won is going to fuel them into this. And I know Purdue's been strong in the past. I'm not saying this won't be a blowout. This will be a blowout, but I think it will be a good defensive battle where Michigan State's going to win this game.
And then to finish off this very long podcast that's probably nearing an hour and a half, we have the ACC.
Yeah, so
And we start
with
we
the
start with the first round.
before we get to the round, we'll get to the quickly standings.
Well, we don't need the standings. I'm just
Okay.
gonna name the seeds. I mean, I can just name
We'll
the
go to
seeds
Steve's,
for you
yeah.
as we go on the way. So we have Miami taking on Northwestern, the 12 seed. Or no, why did I say Northwestern? Miami taking on Wake Forest, game 1 here. Both of these, Wake Forest I feel like Wake Forest should always be good, but then they're never good, and I don't know why. Wake Forest and North Carolina school, they should be good in my opinion, but they're not. Miami's a football school, be all and end all.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with Wake Forest over Miami in this one. In Charlotte, that's got to give them something, even if Wake Forest has a huge fan base,
Mhm.
and Miami's just not a basketball team in general. I'm going with Wake Forest over Miami.
I have
game on Tuesday.
I have Miami. I think Miami. They're not a basketball school, but they've done pretty well. I mean, last year they did really well.
I mean, yeah, they've had a good program.
They've had and I think that's is going to fuel them, especially Wake Forest is just not good. So I have Wake Forest. I have Miami. Sorry.
Yeah. Game 2, we have Georgia Tech versus Notre Dame. I'm going with Notre Dame over Georgia Tech. Notre Dame's had a rough year, but never underestimate the power of the Fighting Irish, especially against a team like Georgia Tech, who isn't much better than Notre Dame, to be honest with you. I'm going to go with Notre Dame over Georgia Tech.
I think that's going to be my one upset for me. I think Notre Dame's going to win this game.
And then we got Boston College versus Pennsylvania-based Pittsburgh Panthers, and for that exact reason, I'm going to pick Pitt because again, neither of these teams are very good, and Pitt is actually coming off the win against another atrocious team in Notre Dame. So we'll go with Pitt over Boston College.
I do also have Pitt. I can't really pick against them. I'm not really a Pitt fan because of their school. I mean, my mom went to Pitt, but I mean they're from Pittsburgh, so and I'm a Pittsburgh professional sports fan, so I do follow them a bit. So I'm gonna have Pittsburgh winning this one.
Okay, so then on Wednesday we have NC State versus Clemson. I will go with Clemson. I'm going to go with Clemson because Clemson is on the bubble. They're a team that I honestly think can make it. NC State's also on the bubble nonetheless. But I think Clemson will win this game, and I think Clemson will beat NC State.
Clemson hasn't had a bad year. Yes, they're 9-9, but they've beaten some pretty good teams. You know, they've played well. I think they beat Tech. They beat who they beat. That's about it. That's good. They kept it close with Florida State, so I'm gonna have Clemson in this one.
Yes. So then for you, you have Tech versus Miami. I have Tech versus Wake. I think Tech wins.
No matter what, yeah, no matter what.
And then we have Louisville. We have Louisville both playing. Both of us have Louisville playing Notre Dame. I think Louisville will beat Notre Dame.
I think that'll be a 20-point game at least.
Yeah. And then we have Syracuse. We both have Syracuse playing Pitt. I think Syracuse beats Pitt.
As much as I'd love to see Pitt win, I just don't think they have it in them, especially with Boeheim. I'm going to have Syracuse winning this game.
Yeah, so then on Thursday, we have Virginia playing you picked Clemson, right?
Yep.
So we have Virginia playing Clemson. Virginia is going to win this game.
I would love to have Clemson. I really would. You know, but they're 500, and they're 19-12 against Virginia, who's the number 2 seed in the country. So I don't see them. And Virginia lost to UMBC, so I know nothing's out. But I just don't see this happening. I see Virginia winning this game.
Yeah, so then next up we have Florida State versus Virginia Tech. And I think Virginia Tech's actually going to beat Florida State.
I like Virginia Tech because I'll tell you why. I like saying the word Tech. It sounds cool, you know? Boilermakers from Purdue also sounds cool. Tech does sound cool, but I think this is where they end. I like Florida State. I've always liked Florida State. I think they're going to win this. They've been very inconsistent, but they found their mojo in the past month or so. They're on a 4-game winning streak, while Tech's on a one-game winning streak. So I'm gonna have Florida State winning this game.
Hey, I have a Tech shirt right here in my closet, and I will wear it on. I'll wear it on next week's podcast if they win the ACC, or if they make the finals. I'll wear that shirt because it's a pretty nice shirt actually. But so next up we also have North Carolina versus we both said Louisville. I'm gonna go with UNC in this one.
Yeah.
Granted, Louisville did beat UNC earlier in the year, so nothing's out of the question. But I'm going with UNC over Louisville.
Yeah, I think that UNC is great after beating their huge rival, sweeping their huge rival. I think I see UNC winning this game.
And then we have Duke versus Syracuse.
This is going to be interesting for me.
This is gonna be an interesting game because it will be Zion's game. It will be Zion's first game back, and Syracuse beat Duke earlier this year with Zion in the lineup.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I'm gonna go.
Duke.
The upset.
Me too.
Syracuse beats Duke. I'm going with the upset because Zion's just coming back from injury.
So he's not going to play his best. He's not going to play his best. He's going to be. I don't even think he's going to play a full game. I honestly don't.
No, he's probably only going to play like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to go with Syracuse in this one actually. And then we have we both said Virginia, and then you say Florida State or Tech?
I said Florida State.
So you got Virginia. You got Virginia versus Florida State. I have Virginia versus Tech. I'm going with Virginia.
Yeah, me too. I think this is where the end of Florida State. They're going to make the tournament, but I think this is going to be the end of Florida State's run. I think Virginia's going to take over.
And then we both said UNC. We both said Syracuse. That means UNC would play Syracuse. You know what?
Let's go.
Why not let the thing keep going? Why not let the upsets keep going through? Beat everybody in North Carolina. Let Syracuse beat UNC.
I'm going to go with the opposite. I'm going UNC. I think we got to be realistic here. Yes, you will beat Duke.
It's not the most unrealistic thing to say. Syracuse
I know. I'm not going to say
Syracuse's actually a pretty good team.
They are a pretty good team, but I think UNC is a lot better than Syracuse, and I'm going to have them winning.
You could easily argue Duke is much better than UNC with a full line.
Well, with a healthy lineup, yeah, you definitely, but they're not healthy. That's just the reality.
They're going to be healthy. On Thursday, they're going to be healthy.
Not with
They're not going to have Bolden, but Bolden's averaging, 9 points a game? Like, no, they're going to have Reddish.
I don't think
Zion.
Zion's not going to be back to what his prime.
Zion's still going to be playing 25 minutes a game. I'm not picking because Zion's not going to be just coming back. I'm picking because I honestly think Syracuse could beat Duke.
Okay.
Zion, even without Zion, even if Zion's playing the whole game, I still think Syracuse could win that game. I don't think that's the reason why. That's not the reason I'm picking them. Zion is not the reason I'm picking against Duke.
I don't think everyone's always going to be cautious, especially coming back of a brutal injury like Zion faced. And he's going to be more cautious than he will be. So I think it's going to take him a game or so, and I think this game matters, and they're going to lose this game. I'm not saying they're going to do bad. I think Duke, if Zion gets back to his usual routine, I think they're going to rake in the tournament. But I think this is not the tournament that Zion's going to play well in.
Okay, and then you have UNC versus Virginia. Virginia versus Syracuse. I'm going with Virginia.
I'm going to go with this is rough.
You stop it.
Oh, wow, this is going to be a rough go for me. Because both teams have played very well. Virginia did beat North Carolina at North Carolina in February. Sorry, I'm studying a bit just I'm trying to look at stuff. So this is going to be a very rough pick for me. I'm gonna go with North Carolina. I think it's going to be an upset or a revenge time for North Carolina. I think they're going to win this tournament and continue on and play well in this tournament.
Okay.
And just like we said, I know this speaks for me, and it could speak for you. Just because we pick these teams doesn't mean it's actually gonna happen. The pick could win this whole tournament.
That's not gonna happen. But
probably not. But you never know what might happen in this tournament. That's the fun of March Madness. This is why I love college basketball and I hate the NBA, because it's so much more energetic to watch. I was watching the Tennessee game, and it was just more hype than any NBA game I've ever tried to watch. I'm not saying NBA is a bad sport or anything. I just think that no one really plays defense in the NBA, so it's not that much fun.
I could see where you're coming from there. But the NBA is fun. I was at a game today. It is a fun thing.
I've been to one NBA game, and it was fun. But watching it on TV is not as fun as probably... That's probably true with more sports. Probably got to go there to make it better than on TV.
Except football.
Football, yeah.
So much better on TV.
Football and playoff hockey for me. I can watch 4 games.
You've never been to a playoff hockey game in person. Playoff hockey in person is still better than the thing on TV. Somehow, it's better.
Yeah. Let's give you guys a quick update because I was tracking this. Penguins are up 2-1. 2-1, yeah. Women's. Let's talk about women's while we have a chance right here. You don't need to.
Oh my God.
We're not sexist. I'm not. At least.
We are screwing this bill over. It's already been an hour and a half, and now we're talking about women's college basketball.
Baylor, Connecticut, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Mississippi State. Those are the top.
That's it. There's nobody else. That's the only problem. There's only 5 teams that can win this thing every year, and it's actually annoying.
And I hope you.
I'm not saying men's is much better. There's still only about 5-10 teams that can win in men's either. But at least it's a bit more of a difference.
Yeah, we'll go back to men's actually. That's going to be top. I know it's way too early right now. But who do you have winning the whole thing?
If I knew any of the teams, but I don't, so I'm just gonna say Baylor because they're the number one team in the country.
Baylor's the number one team in the country.
They are? No.
Okay. Because
you're from Connecticut, you kind of have to pick UConn.
I'm not gonna pick UConn because I seem to be realistic here. Because I love this team so much, and they shouldn't really be in this top 10. I'm gonna be with Wofford.
No way, Wofford's in the top 10.
No, sorry, top 25 to 22.
I'm picking Wofford then. You didn't tell me Wofford's in the top 25.
Yeah, they're 22.
Wofford,
They're better than Villanova.
Wofford's women's and Wofford's men both have to win it all, and then it's perfect.
Iowa State has they're ranked good in the they're like 18. They're 19.
Everybody's turned this off already. I can promise you, but I'm talking to no one at this point.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for our podcast today. We gave you guys conference play. Coming up next week will be our official NCAA bracket. Probably the best time of the year for video content. We still got a lot of stuff to talk about. Antonio Brown was traded. I didn't want to bring it up because I don't really want to talk about it. To the Raiders.
No, that was awesome. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, that will be talked about because we're making a whole video tomorrow probably about Antonio Brown being traded.
Not tomorrow, but yeah.
Maybe not tomorrow, but soon. Antonio Brown being traded. Adam Jones signing a contract.
Yeah. So we got a lot of new sports to talk about, and especially since end of March, I know it's coming quickly, rapidly approaching, and spring training is going to get done in about 2 weeks or so. I'm going to start real regular season for MLB, and we're getting the prime time with NHL and NBA. But that's going to do it for us right now. Hit sub and like, and we'll see you guys next week.